Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be trying out the new Beauty Bay Reckless Romantic palette. You know I'm always a big fan of indie brands, especially UK ones, and the Beauty Bay palettes are one of my favourite formulas. So every year they release a kind of palette around Valentine's Day. So today I thought we'd use this one. This is a little bit different to what they normally release. They're normally quite bright, quite colourful, quite kind of pastel and exciting, whereas this is a lot more kind of that grungy thing that we've become to expect with palette releases so far this year. So let's get that out of there. This is what the palette looks like. It's really beautiful. It's like half pinky neutrals and then half like very, very deep kind of grey. I would say they're almost kind of browny rather than like very, very cool toned greys. But I'm excited to give this a go. We're going to do a look with this today and I will let you know if it compares to the normal Beauty Bay formula. So I'm just going to pop a bit of this on. This is the Beauty Bay Squalene and Grapeseed Oil Serum Hybrid. I've been using this lately. I got it I think when I bought the Tropical palette in the summer, I want to say, and I actually really like it. It's quite kind of sticky and really feels like it makes your makeup stick to your face. So we're just going to do a bit of that. We'll pop a bit of primer on in a bit. We're going to ignore, I don't know whether you can see, but I've got a spot patch on my face because this spot is just, it's not a vibe. So we're just going to leave it there. We're just going to put foundation over it. Be really useful is if I could find my eyeshadow primer. We're just going to use this one today because I can't be bothered digging around. This is P. Louise Rumour Zero, which is the white one. Because I think we're going to do something quite graphic today, I think. Right, so okie dokie, we're just going to go in with a Morphe M224 to put the primer on because I just find it easier. Let's grab a little mirror. Yeah, I just find this base goes on much nicer with like a very flat brush. The Made by Mitchell flat brush is great for this as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to pat that out with my finger. I always take it right into the inner corner as well and like up the nose, so that when I put my foundation on, I don't have like a weird, slightly different coloured patch. It's been so long since I've used this stuff. I've been just obsessed with Too Faced Shadow Insurance lately. And admittedly, like, Too Faced are not as much my vibe these days, but I do really like their kind of priming products. I have been thinking about doing like a video that basically focuses on products that I love from brands I either don't love or brands I find a bit boring. So do let me know if you want to see that. This is currently giving taped makeup, which is not what we're doing today, but it's something I do want to do. So again, let me know if you want to see that, because it looks really fun. Right, okay. That is all nice and even. Now we look a little bit crazy. Right, okie dokie. I think we're going to start out with quite a small brush. This is just a little one from Gerard Cosmetics. And I'm going to take the shade Rebel, and we're going to start by doing the shape of our crease with that. I think we're going to go for a nice little winged cut crease today, because why not? This palette is very dramatic, so we might as well lean into that, in my opinion. I'm just taking that very messily and sketching out the shape that I want my cut crease to be. This is actually a little bit darker than I first thought, which actually probably works better. So happy days. Like I always say it when I do looks like this, but I feel like these looks look so intimidating, when in fact when you break them down, sometimes I find them easier to do than like just a normal kind of everyday look or a halo eye. They're just, because you literally just follow like the contours of your own eye. So we're just following it, winging it out a little bit at the edge. We're going to check it's even, which it probably isn't because my eyes aren't even. As long as it's somewhere. We aren't about to shame people if our eyes and brows are not sisters or twins. They're like distant family members. Maybe like a second cousin or something. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a fluffy brush. This is the LP08 from Lorac, which is very like dense and fluffy. And we're going to take Fling, which is this shade here. It's this lighter kind of dustier pink, and we're going to use this to buff. Oh, that is darker than I wanted it to be. Okay. Well, we live and we learn. Should I have swatched this palette previous to starting this look? Probably. Is it fine? Will it all work out in the end? Yeah. Okay, that worked out in the end. Just take that one very lightly. Perhaps on not such a dense brush as well. That was probably my bad on that one. So we're just going to blend out this just so we've got a nice kind of, just like a pinky shadow. Right, okie dokie. We're going to go in with a very tiny brush. This is a Morphe H205, which was in the Heatwave collection. But they do these tiny, teeny brushes in basically all the collections they do. And we're going to go in with this shade here, Front Row, which is this very dark purple. I will say about Beauty Bay shadows, they are quite dusty. There's a lot of kick up in the pan. But I do find that once on the lid, that dustiness doesn't really translate. So if you're kind of a bit scared of them when you put your brush in the pan, don't worry, basically. And all we're doing with this shade now is we are running this along the very bottom of the two pinks we've just put down and really starting to define that crease. And this, I just find, is so much easier to do with like a very small brush. So we're just defining that, and then we are going to go in with the black to really, really define it. Jesus. Right, okie dokie. We are going to take a fluffy blending brush, which I am trying to find a clean one of. This will do. Look Soft Definer by Zoeva, a little like flat rounded blendy brush. And we're going to go in, I think we're going to do, we're going to do Rebel actually to blend this darker purple into the pinks. The only thing I will say about this palette is the tones. I feel like I get pretty like bruise pretty easily. I definitely think like if you're a makeup artist and you want like a cheaper bruise tone palette, I feel like this one could probably work really well. So we're just going to blend that purple in. And that is giving us then basically the line to follow with the black. So we're going to use the exact same little tiny brush. We're going to use the black, which is called Leather, which is this one here. I'm very excited to get to these shimmers. You know, I love a shimmer. As much as I like a matte heavy palette, the shimmer's always my favourite bit. Right, we're going to be pretty careful with this one. Not too worried about what's going on the lid because I think we are going to do a dark shimmer. There's a shade here called Fishnets and I'm like, you're so pretty. It's like a grey sparkle with like reflex in it. And I feel like everybody's probably doing a very similar look with this palette, but just, it was the first place my mind went. I feel like if you are going to get this palette, you're probably going to want to do something like this with it. Even if it's what everybody else is doing. I could have done something super crazy with it, but I just thought, you know what, let's stick to something that I know, you know, most people are going to want to do with this palette. Because if you're buying like a purple palette with blacks, you're going to want to do some sort of like pinky purpley vibe smoky eye. Okay, we're going to go back in now with our Zoeva brush. I'm going to take a bit of front row and mix it with Rebel, and we're going to use that to blend the black. I knew I was going to do a quick crease. Somehow I didn't expect it to end up quite this intense. I don't really know why, because it's a black and purple cut crease, but there you go. Who knows? So we're just going to blend that black in, and then I'm going to go in with front row on its own. And get that nice and blended. I definitely think with this one, because the Beauty Bay shadows blend so well, you don't want to play with the black too much because you don't want it to end up looking muddy and gross. But I'm happy with that crease for now. Right, we are going to go back in with the Morphe M224. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a wipe because I think, do we want to go in with P. Louise cut crease, or does it not matter because we're going with darker shades? No, I think we're going to leave it, but we are going to give this a wipe so there's no base left on it. And I think I'm going to do kind of like an ombre lid. So I think we're going to go first off with Girlfriend, then we're going to move on to Mini Dress, and then we're going to move on to Fishnets, I think. So we've got this shade here, and this shade here. So we're going to start with Girlfriend in the very, very inner corner. These are very soft, as I expected them to be. And we're just going to put that in the very, very inner corner. It's just going to do a nice job of brightening up the eyes. It's like a really pretty, like, pinky beige almost. Not the most intense pigmented shadow in the world, but I feel like you could also get like a very soft romantic look out of this palette, and you could definitely use this shade for that. Right, okay, we're going to then go into Mini Dress, which is this middle shade here. More of a silver. I'm hoping the kind of silvery taupey tones of that Girlfriend shade blend nicely into this. I'm just going to pack that on what's left of the inner half of the lid. I've got a little bit of shimmer fallout, but nothing kind of unbelievable, as to be expected when the shadows are kind of this like buttery and shimmery. And also these are completely dry, just over a little bit of base. Obviously by now the P. Louise base, because we worked on the crease, is not as tacky as it once was. And as you can see, these are beautiful shimmers. Right, and then we're going to go in with Fishnets. I'm very excited to use this shade. And we're just going to pack that up to the crease. Oh, that is stunning. That is really beautiful. Like I said, it's like a very, very dark grey, like a pink reflect in it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So we're just going to pat that up to the edge of the lid. I'm just going to go in with the other side of my brush and intensify that middle shade to really make the lid pop and make sure it's nice and blended. Okay, I'm happy with how that lid looks. Right, let's just give this a wipe before it ends up everywhere. Like I said, we've got a tiny bit of shimmer fallout, just a couple of little bits, so I'm just going to tidy that up as well. Right, back in with a little brush. We're going to take front row first, and we're going to pull this down from the wing to the lid. Okie dokie. Honestly, I don't really think that needs any black, to be fair. I kind of want to do a colourful wing liner. I'm going to take one of my favourite shades from Glisten. This is Strawberry. I'm just going to give it a little spritz. And I'm going to grab a 7.5 from Glisten, which is not quite as long as I normally use for my wing liner. Just so we can make this nice and neat. So we're going to load this up with some lovely liner. Where did I put the bronzer? I was using it as a mirror. And we're just going to do a little bit of liner. We're not doing anything too thick, too dramatic. I just want to like re-pull in that pink look. Actually I've got the new power liner from Collection, so we might actually do that over the top of this liner. Right, okay, so that's the base of the liner done. Okay, I think I'm going to put some of this glitter liner on just for funsies. This is the power liner in... Oh, there we go. I Am Strong, which is the pink one. This is like pink with lots of like little reflex in it, so we're just going to lie this down over the waterliner. I'm going to use it quite sparsely. Okay. I definitely think that would probably have worked best by itself. Okay, I am going to go and really quickly put some base makeup on, and then we're going to come back and do the cheeks and stuff. Definitely have just done this look with a very heavy pink under eye, but there we go. We're just going to do the lower lash line, and I'm just going to take the shade Front Row. I've got quite heavy concealer on so that this is obvious it's eyeshadow and not darkness under my eyes. So we're just doing a lot of Front Row. I know I always make such weird faces when doing under eye eyeshadow. It's just, I don't know. I can't do it without. We're just going to take this up the wing a little bit. So that's all nice and blended there. Okie dokie. Just found my wet wipe, happy days. Right. For blush, I want to do something really bright, so I think we're going to go in with this one. This is Cosmetics Invocation. Lots of people have a code for VE, so keep your eye out for that if you do want to purchase anything from them. I'm just going to take an angled brush and I'm going to use this tiny, tiny mirror to try and put this on my face. Is very pretty. It's not like the world's most pigmented blush, but for what we've got going on right now, I really like it. Okay, I'm going to do a tiny bit of Anastasia Saddle, just because it's open, quite frankly. Nothing too exciting. Just a little insight, the foundation I'm wearing is the new Shiseido Revitali Essence Skin Glow, which looks beautiful. I've got MAC Pro Longwear and Beauty Crop Vitamin Babe powder in pink on as well. Right, okie dokie, we're going to do some mascara. Lancome Hypnose waterproof. I need another one of these. This one is getting to the end of its life. I do actually quite like the way that looks without. Do we want to do a dark lip? That Copenhagen from NYX for my Shop Moustache. Let's have a look. Too much? Do we roll with it? I think we roll with it. Okay, so overall, really happy with this palette. It's probably not my favourite colour scheme that Beauty Bay have ever brought out, but it is really beautiful. The shadows are great quality as always. The mattes blend really nicely. The shimmers are really vibrant. I'm quite excited to play around with some more of the pinks and kind of do a full pink look. And this burgundy up here looks really beautiful as well. The black was nice. It was pigmented, a tiny little bit patchy maybe. But with the shade, the fishnet shade, we kind of fixed all of that. Because this is stunning. It's not one for the faint-hearted, but it's absolutely beautiful. I will put up a reel of some swatches with this palette, and I'm going to show you what else I got from Beauty Bay in a Beauty Bay haul, which will be the next video. But so far, so good. It's not going to be my favourite of my Beauty Bay palettes, but it's a really great formula, and I will dip into it. It's just not going to be a go-to, I don't think. So, I do hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know what you think of the palette if you've tried it yourself. If you haven't, let me know if you are interested in the colour scheme or it's definitely a no-go for you. I do hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to make sure you never miss another video, then hit the bell icon and YouTube will notify you every time I post. You've been fabulous. I've been Coleoftheball, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.